Hello everybody, this is Akram Shaban. How are you doing? I hope you guys are doing great. Today we're just going to look at some news on crypto. XRP is currently at 47 cents. The market cap is 26 billion. All right. And the volume has gone up, by the way, to 976. Even got high, even up, like way up. We'll cover that in a moment. All right, what's going on with crypto news? So, speaking of the volume, XRP LAMM having an extreme increase in volume on the daily, hitting 2.4 million, most because of the MAG and XRP pair. Interesting. Definitely, the volume have gone up. A lot of people, especially us, we're trading in high amount of volumes here. There's a lot of movement in XRP, especially with the current prices right now. I mean, XRP right now is cheap, so get in when you can. But also, just to clarify, I'm not your financial advisor. This is just for entertainment purposes. Anyways, let's keep going. I looked at this video today, and I was like, okay, I need to really keep this tab on until I start recording and make this episode. So take a listen. CBDC is nothing more than CCP style surveillance tool that can be weaponized to oppress the American way of life. Listen what this guy says.
It's good to be back at the People's House, where House Republicans are ready to continue delivering on our promises to the American people. One important aspect of our common sense agenda is actually protecting Americans' financial privacy, particularly when it pertains to this lawless administrative state. That's why I reintroduced a bill yesterday called the Central Bank Digital Currency Anti-Surveillance State Act, which puts a check on unelected bureaucrats and ensures that the United States digital currency policy upholds our values of privacy, individual sovereignty, and free market competitiveness. Recent actions from the Biden administration have made it clear that they are not only itching to create a digital dollar, but they're willing to trade Americans' right to financial privacy for a surveillance-style CBDC. This bill ensures the future of crypto is in the hands of the American people, not the administrative state, by prohibiting the Federal Reserve from creating a tool with unfettered insight into Americans' financial data. If not open, permissionless, and private, like cash, a CBDC is nothing more than a CCP-style surveillance tool that can be weaponized to oppress the American way of life. We're not going to let that happen, not on House Republicans' watch. And I want to thank the Financial Services Committee for considering our bill this month, and we're going to continue working to ensure that the digital economy is designed by Americans and emulates American values. It's good.
Hope so. I hope so. With the CBDCs, we're actually giving a lot of power and control to the elites who they're trying to weaponize our financial life as Americans. And hopefully we'll see. From what we're seeing, there's got to be a lot of control because everything is monitored. This is my subjective views here. He says Ripple and Stellar at the round table discussion alongside Neil Liang, Undersecretary for Domestic Finance, U.S. Department of the Treasury, Washington, D.C., April 23, 2024. Look at this. Stellar right here. Paul Wong, Director of Product CBDC and Institutions at Stellar Development Foundation. And we got Lauren Believe, Head of Public Policy and Government at Ripple. Neil Liang, Undersecretary for Domestic Finance. Glad to see these two on the table. Stellar and XRP are quite identical of what they're doing. They're also delved into the long-term vision for the integration of CBDCs, tokenization, and stable coins into the broader U.S. financial ecosystem, including potential benefits for economic growth and resilience. So, stable coins, as we know, real USD, by XRP. But good news right here. Another one by him. Birth of the Petro Yuan. Saudi Arabia is exploring accepting oil payments in currencies other than the US dollar and has joined BIS ORG, of course, mBridge project, a global initiative to use digital currencies for easier, faster international payments. Now, I will speak on BIS mBridge way in depth here, so in a minute. But let's keep reading here. While the US dollar will still be the main currency for most transactions, this move helps Saudi Arabia diversify its payments methods, especially with China being its biggest oil buyer. So yeah, we're gonna speak about the mBridge project really soon in this video, which includes like China, Hong Kong, Thailand, UAE. It aims to improve cross-border transactions using CBDCs, notably Ripple's connections with the SMA Gov and BIS. So I'm going to also I was gonna say, like, I'm gonna be double checking, making more proof that this is actually really happening in a minute. Such as advancements align with Saudi Arabia Vision 2030 to diversify its economy and reduce reliance on oil revenues. So take a look at this.
Rich Turin is the author of Cashless, China's Digital Currency Revolution. And he told me that more countries are likely to adopt central bank digital currencies because they make cross-border transactions easier.
It's huge, and I will go as far as to say that this is the birth of what I will call the petro yuan, or like we have the petrodollar, we're now going to have the petro yuan from China. What you see here is a long-term plan that's going to be missed by many, and it's lots of little steps taking place very carefully. So you've got Saudi Arabia joining BRICS Plus this past September of 2023. Now you've got Saudi Arabia joining into the mBridge program, because Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa will all have central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs, within the next year, I would say. India and China are obviously already in pilots and going. Russia's in pilot, and I think South Africa is pretty well along to say that within a year they'll be launched as well.
Mm-hmm. So, Rich, this really is a massive change. You talk about the petro yuan. What do you think about the timing of this, given that the Saudi deal with the US to sell oil in dollars, the petro dollar, has lapsed? How big a vote of confidence is this in the yuan?
I don't believe in coincidences. I think that this is a clear message from Saudi Arabia to the United States that we want to do business with the world. And I think it's a strong vote of confidence for doing business with China. And why not? China and Saudi Arabia are big trading partners. We've got China now working on a new natural gas pipeline, a major project worth $1 billion something in Saudi. There's a tremendous amount of business between Saudi Arabia and China. And the fundamental question is, why shouldn't that business be conducted in RMB? Why does it have to be in dollar? When Saudi Arabia is buying products from China and can readily use RMB and wait for it, get a better deal. So the timing is not a coincidence. It's a strong vote in favor for the yuan, and it's a clear indicator that Saudi Arabia has intention to do business with China in yuan, and we can expect more of it in the future. Expect it to be slow at first, but eventually this is going to take off.
All right, so I want you guys to comment what do you guys think about this. This is pretty powerful, amazing. I mean, we're seeing a lot of changes in the financial sector right now, so good on the world. This is by I saw this by Kim.com. The U.S. Air Force directed the ATACMS, I don't know, but yeah, ATACMS missile strike against Russian Civilian today, this is an act of war by the U.S. government, Russia. Did Joe Biden seek permission from Congress to start direct war with Russia? Did Americans sign up for this? But yeah, you're gonna see a lot of escalation of war, especially when it comes to finance changes in the finance sector, of course. So keep that in mind. But yeah, this is saying what's really going on in the world. Really sad to see these people get hurt. You know, it sucks. You know, it's just fucked up. Anyways, let's. I have this video, and Edo had tweeted this. Really informative here. The price of gold, because we're actually going to be heading in a gold reevaluation, especially, I mean, just precious metals in general, reevaluation, and inevitable to fix the current broken system. So we'll see. But here, take a listen. Let's make it this way. All right, and yeah, let's watch it together.
I agree entirely on everything you said. I think gold is ultimately how they get out of this. There are provisions in the Federal Reserve Bank operating manual by which the Treasury, United States Treasury Secretary, can instruct the Fed to write up the gold, the U.S.'s gold, and the accounting treatment of that is a deposit, free and clear, no debt attached to it, into the U.S. Treasury general account. So at 261 million ounces or 8,000 tons, every $4,000 per ounce the Treasury were to instruct the Fed to write up the gold would deposit roughly $1 trillion, 4,000 times 261 million ounces, into the TGA. So like, if you said, Luke, your Treasury Secretary, how can you get out of this? We need to get our debt to GDP down right away. How do we get out of this debt spiral? I call up the Fed. Powell, it's over. You've lost the long end no matter what you do. Write up the gold to, I don't know, it's a $24 trillion Treasury market. Prices are probably down, what? Mark face value 30% on average over the last 2-3 years. So the real market value of the U.S. Treasury market, I don't know, 12 trillion, it's 15 trillion for round math. I'm going to write up the gold by 10 trillion, right? So, it's $40,000 per, just actually do 5 trillion, just take a third of the debt out. I'm going to write up the gold by 5 trillion. If I write up the gold by 5 trillion, every trillion is $4,000. So that's $20,000. And I get 5 trillion deposited into the TGA, free and clear. I go out into the market and I buy back a third of the U.S. debt outstanding. Now it's a $10 trillion market value market against GDP of 27 trillion, give or take. Voila. We've gone from 120 to 40% in one stroke. Thank you for your donation, Treasury holders. Now, inflation rips, the dollar probably sells off quite a bit, but that's all in the cake. That's going to happen no matter what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what is going to happen. I mean, gold have been, you know, it's God's money, you know, and it's the actual root when it comes to wealth and, you know, money as we think as a whole. And by Luke Groman really clarified on that. I mean, yeah, we could really see a gold price at $20,000 an ounce, you know, and we'll see. I mean, I'm really optimistic. I mean, what he's saying here, I mean, it's happening. I mean, also, as he said right here, inflation rips and the dollar just collapses more, right? And yeah, amazing video by Luke Gorman, you know, for tweeting it. All right, this one from Subject Views. So Project mBridge. Really wanted to cover this. I mean, this is floating everywhere right now, and we're gonna just dive in this video and just,
that is on the
and have it just explained. This is from the BIS as well. So this is Project mBridge. So take a listen.
platform that is on the testnet. It will continue to evolve. Some of the functionalities will continue to be designed and continue to be developed. So you can now turn to the video, please.
This is a demo of the mBridge platform user interface. Please note that what you will witness are dummy transactions and no real data is involved. For the sake of time, all interfaces have been logged in and wallets have been issued with CBDC. Let's first look at a central bank's view. In this case, it's that of the HKMA. As you can see, the interface has a dashboard that provides summary statistics of the transactions on the mBridge platform. On the left-hand side panel, we can see the various functionalities available to the central bank, including access approval rights to onboard selected domestic commercial banks, and the ability to set transaction limits and parameters, such as the maximum amount they can hold in their wallet or transact in a single cross-border payment. Central banks can also set alerts for foreign exchange rates agreed outside of a predetermined rate range for all currency pairs on the platform. They can also approve CBDC issuance and redemption requests and see their commercial banks on mBridge balances and transaction details. Here we have a Hong Kong commercial bank's interface, and suppose that its Hong Kong local corporate client wants to pay for the import of coconuts from a Thai corporate and has agreed to pay 400,000 Thai baht. As of now, the Hong Kong corporate's bank on mBridge has no e-Thai baht, so it initiates an FX transaction with a Thai bank to exchange e-Hong Kong dollar for 400,000 e-Thai baht. The maker enters the details, including the exchange rate that was agreed off the platform, selects the counterparty bank, and verifies the transaction with its security PIN. A series of compliance checks will happen in the background. The transaction then goes to the checker, who verifies the details and authorizes the transaction with the 6-digit PIN before it is sent to the counterparty Thai bank. If we now turn to the Thai bank's view, we can see that it has 10 minutes to accept the transaction, as shown here, after which the transaction will automatically fail if no action is taken. The Thai bank reviews the details and confirms the transaction. The atomic PVP exchange of both legs of the FX transaction now takes place. Within seconds, the transaction is added to the blockchain ledger once the block is validated. It is marked as successful, balances are updated, and the transaction is settled with finality. If we now go back to the Hong Kong bank's wallet balance, we can see that its e-Thai baht balance is updated to 400,000. With this e-Thai baht in its wallet, the Hong Kong bank can now pay the Thai corporate's local bank on mBridge 400,000 e-Thai baht for the coconuts. After inputting the transaction details and completing the necessary compliance and authorization checks, the payment is sent to the Thai corporate's local bank within a matter of seconds, and the cross-border payment for this international trade transaction between Hong Kong and Thailand is settled. This demonstrates the potential of faster, safer, cheaper, and more accessible cross-border payments on the mBridge platform.
Wow. Okay. This is actually like fucking crazy. I mean, yeah. It's quick. It's efficient. Technology is dangerous. It could be destructive, but innovation's pretty good. But hopefully they don't abuse the power, which probably they would abuse the technology. Speaking of mBridge, pilot multi-CBDC, what's next for China digital currency? We'll see a lot of banks here in the mBridge project. So take a look. I mean, mBridge is a really big noise, like a big fucking noise right now of really what the fuck is going on. I mean, mBridge is a big thing right now, especially what the BRICS is onto. So this is also getting ready to launch CBDCs according to the BIS, the tech stack. It's fairly vanilla. They don't want to talk about the API mBridge, but this is the mBridge interface described. And yeah, it's really great information here. The API interface described in table A1 below. Yep, API for the mBridge ledger. This API is the API between the application layer and the blockchain. These APIs invoke smart contracts and the blockchain. The ISO 222 tokens compliant API at the application layer is not detailed here. Okay, this is a great one. More on here. Where did I have this? So I saw this too. We are excited for the stablecoins coming into regulation June 30. I mean, we're really close. 2024. For this is to be reality, we'll need a gateway hub such as mBridge by the BIS, which goes live first half of the year 2024. This hub gateway will allow the seamless FX swap of stablecoins. But yeah, mBridge, central platform here. Crazy, right? USD, dollar, Swift are not involved. Okay, so yeah, Swift and USD are not involved with the mBridge exchange process. Critics worry this could affect sanction enforcement. So I mean, Swift is already on CBDCs, but to see this also, it's completely separate. Project mBridge is completely separate from what Swift is doing with CBDCs, right? But yeah, crazy what we see here. Tokenizations, guys, and this one as well. mBridge. So we got the payer, we got the payer's bank correspondent bank, payee, bank correspondent bank, payees. And yeah, that's the mBridge, of course. So, from my research, this is from the World Economic Forum. They had this on. This was from this year, April 16. And I was just reading over here. I was reading this booklet, and I see, of course, the digital barrier instrument model of private tokenization money stable coins. So primary markets experience no prior disruptions. Issuers maintain a collateralized model 2.27 times more liquid than most global systemical important banks, GSIB. And I come right here down over here on the contributors, and I see, wait for it, where is this guy? Okay, so Mohsen, this is a CBDC program from Saudi Arabia. Over here, another central bank, CBDC bank from United Arab Emirates. And there's one here that really got me shocked. But let's go down a little bit. I think it's over here. I think I'm just blind at this point. Okay. Yeah, this is getting me pissed off. It's right here. We saw, yeah. Oh yeah. So James Walls, Vice President Ripple X Central Bank Engagement and CBDCs of Ripple, right here, from the contributors, of course. But yeah, crazy what we're seeing here. Ripple is always involved, and I've been having questions from people of why us from the Black Swan Capitalist of why we keep speaking on Ripple is because Ripple is involved in everything, you know. And this one from BIS, right? The XRP token also react less, which may reflect that its network of trusted nodes is certainly controlled by its issuer Ripple, making the XRP token distinct from other permissionless cryptocurrencies. I mean, Ripple is doing it different, you know, and glad to see innovation happen. But yeah, this was like really my own research, no sugarcoating. Really seeing, we're just connecting the dots here and applying of really what's going on, because I mean, Ripple is always involved in every corner of the finance sector right now we see in innovation. So but this is it for this video. Really thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure also you subscribe my channel, and also follow me on Twitter if you guys want me to cover anything. I will definitely and happily cover any topics you guys want me to cover. And just another disclaimer, like, this is for entertainment purposes. I'm not your financial advisor, and just take care of yourself, guys. Just be prepared for the new financial system. It's really around the corner. All right, take care, be safe, good night.